Good morning. Recently I was a guest here on Coffee with Bob, and I told you how I've recently started taking sailing lessons. This was a gift that a friend of mine gave to me for my birthday. It was something that I have always wanted to do. I always thought it would be a lot of fun. And so he gave this to me for my birthday as a gift earlier this year, and finally I've had a chance now to get out and to be able to take some sailing lessons. And it has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed getting to do it. It hasn't taken long for me to realize that in sailing, there's a whole lot of life lessons to be learned along with the sailing lessons. Sailing has so much to teach us about life. And so along the way, I've been really enjoying getting to just reflect and think about all that. Well, this week I was out taking my sailing lesson, and we were having a great time out on the water. We were practicing sailing upwind and downwind. We were tacking and jibing and trying all different maneuvers and just getting a feel for how it all works and how the boat works together and how you manage the sails. And it was a really good time. It was coming time towards the end of our class, the end of the lesson, and it was about time to head back in. We had kind of gotten out into the middle of the lake, and then we were making our way back in to go and dock. And while we were on our way back in, suddenly the winds just died. They'd been blowing around 8 to 10 miles an hour. It'd been great sailing weather, and just out of nowhere, it just died. There was no wind to be felt from anywhere. And all of a sudden, we found ourselves just sitting on the water. There was no motor on this sailboat that we were on. We were truly at the mercy of the wind. And as long as there was no wind, there was no motor to get us into the dock. And so we just were sitting out there in the water waiting for little bits of wind to come up here and there to kind of push us along a little bit further and inch our way towards the dock a little bit at a time. Well, as we were sitting there, the time that we were supposed to end the lesson came and went, and we were still sitting out in the middle of the water. Our instructor, she felt so bad. She felt terrible about all this and felt like she had put us in this situation, and she just kept apologizing and apologizing. As we were sitting there watching this time go by, I watched as the sun began to set over the water out on the horizon, turning from this bright golden yellow to these shades of orange and then this deep red as the sun slowly sank down over the water. And it was just beautiful to watch. And as I sat there watching this happen, I couldn't help but think, if we had made it in on time, the time that we were supposed to end the lesson, we would have already docked the boat, been back in our cars, and on the way home by the time the sun was setting. But because things didn't go the way that we had planned, because the wind had died, we got to watch this beautiful sunset out over the water. I just sat there thinking about that and thought, how often in life does something happen that we just have no control over? How often does things just go the ways that we didn't plan? And in those moments, it's really tempting to get frustrated, to get angry, to be upset, because we like to have control. We like to have this feeling that I'm in control of my own life and what happens around me. The reality is that's not always the case. What I found the other night is that in those moments, we get to decide, do we get upset that things didn't go the way we planned, that we didn't have the control we wanted to have, or do we find the opportunities to sit back and see the world around us and just take a deep breath in those kind of moments, and maybe we'll get to watch a beautiful sunrise that we weren't anticipating getting to watch. Life doesn't always go the way that we plan. Today, if things aren't going for you the way that you had hoped that they would go, just take a step back. Take a deep breath. Look around you and just remember all that you have to be grateful for. That night I left the boat thanking the instructor for the fact that we didn't make it back on time because we got to watch a beautiful sunset. We can always find things to be grateful for if we just have our eyes open and we're willing to look and see. Things don't always have to go according to plan in order for things to be beautiful. I hope today you can find the beauty in this day and give God thanks. Make it a great day.